Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na Country Sunday, Ghost Town Day, number 21 day, Monday for this month for February 2022. My name na Capo Daniel, the Deputy Defense Chief, Anti-Kidnapping Czar of the Ambazonian Governing Council, aka Sense Pass King. Welcome to our daily podcast, a program where we bring on a fact, truth, liberation information that is critical for Ambazonians' liberation movement. We promise to always uphold the truth and bring you fact-based and substantiated information about our liberation movement. Welcome. Fellow people of the southern British Cameroun, good citizens of Ambazonia. Today, we will start with good news where they come from ground zero with the opening of the Mbengwi Road. The Ambazonian Governing Council and the Ambazonian War Council then decide for reopen the road for Mbengwi, where they lead for the Trans-Saharan Highway. The road will be closed for security reasons after the Cameroon military they be consistently use civilian vehicles for attack Ambazonian Defense Forces control points, killing one of our commanders along the Mbengwi Highway Road. The following measures have been taken to mitigate that strategy. All vehicles them for inside Bamenda and across Ambazonia, they don't be banned for use tinted glasses. That means no motor, no drive where they cover a window them with blind or where they don't paint the window them may be black. All motor they must be visible, and we call on all passengers them and driver them when they use highway road. Me them put their hand over place the way it be visible, especially if them be stopped by our Ambazonian forces. We call on all commercial vehicle them where they use the Trans-Saharan Highway Road for inform our commanders on the ground on that road and registered as being transporters for be the primary responsible persons for make sure say there is no Cameroon military personnel inside their vehicle when they depart from their points of departure. There is also a temporary ban of French Cameroon citizens, Francophones, from visiting Ekok and all Nigerian or Biafran villages of trade that lies along the Ambazonian border. This one are also part of security reasons, measures them where they be taken for mitigate the use of transportation and commercial vehicles by Cameroon military as a weapon of war. Ambazonian them across the nation also they be reminded say all Cameroon government school them be banned for inside Ambazonia. Now only private school them where they don't be permitted for function as community school. Mission and religious school them where they can be accepted and permitted for function as community school, and Ambazonian indigenous community school they don't open them where they be allowed for function inside Ambazonia. If any village they will never get a community school, me then contact the education board of the Ambazonian Governing Council for open them one and for help them for open community school. Any man way they send a pikin for Cameroon government school, making no say they put that pikin for arms way, because the Cameroon military it then transform Cameroon government schools into their military base where they conduct military activity for day. Any place where Cameroon military their foot that very place it then become a battleground with the Ambazonian forces them. Would they repeat again, all Cameroon government schools inside Ambazonia then be illegal and then be prohibited. Actions that could be taken for close down Cameroon government school, make parents them remove their picking them for day and make all Ambazonian forces them then take every measures necessary within our code of conduct for stop and for shut down Cameroon government schools, including reducing them to dust. No country no fit permit another government for open schools them within their national territory. It shall never be tolerated, it shall never be allowed. All teachers who are Cameroon government teachers who have resumed duty, whether na bossa or administrative staff, they will be under active pursuit or arrest for collaborating with the Cameroon government for imposing alien and foreign schools in Ambazonia against the territorial integrity and sovereignty for Ambazonia. For inside the great state of Momo, the Cameroon government it announced say 12 of their military men them they don't run work. they record them, then come back for this one a phenomenon where then they go throughout the 13 states for inside Ambazonia. Cameroun, it then be defeated as an administrative bloc. They not still get administration then for inside Ambazonia. Cameroun, their legitimacy, it then be defeated inside Ambazonia as they not get no elected officials inside Ambazonia. Any person where they collaborate with the Cameroon government, he go face arrest, and any Cameroon forces or any Ambazonian way join the Cameroon occupation forces, making no say it will either sign an arrest warrant and action that will be taken to take them out eventually. For another good news for self-defense, Sisiku Ayuk TABE, IG group, they ram enter for self-defense with 2 foot. As we see, the second in command will be there for the TTA, for Mbengwi. Blinky, he then come out, he announce say, he then reverse the decision the way General Commando, he be make him. We think say this one, he be a dishonorable action from a commander for can reverse the decision way he papa, he be make him. But we respect him as such. Blinky, he be make the video for Mbengwi. It means say the base for Mbengwi, he go pursue he and they don't align themselves under Sisiku Ayuk TABE. This one are the second group we will then see for ground zero, and we expect say Okoro will do the same for align themselves with Sisiku Ayuk TABE. We hope say they need to just seek sympathetic legitimacy for get self-defense forces, but will take full responsibility for command and control, and we think this is a good thing. We want more and more forces them for be active and more political groups them for take active rule in command and control and for implement their own code of conduct on the ground and appoint public face for accountability each time with the forces that they act. All the other commanders of the TTA, the one in Gozang, Captain Savior and the rest, all of them, they are all in collaboration with the ADF. We respect them. We have engaged in oath so that we can live in peace. It is yet unknown if the IG of Sisiku will maintain the policy of Blink, because Blink was the only commander in the TTA that was against collaboration and hold an aggressive posture against the ADF. We will hold Sisiku and his team responsible to come out and lay out their policy for the Mbengwi camp. We will continue to live in peace and work hand in hand with the other TTA commanders that have aligned and have come into collaboration with the ADF while respecting each other mutually. But we welcome as a force the IG group of Sisiku Ayuk TABE in indulging in self-defense, and we applaud them for doing that. That is a good thing. The challenges we have in the past is the whole concept of many people who have tried to get into self-defense, the concept of sponsorship. The self-defense in Ambazonia was started by SOCADEF and the ADF with a command and control and code of conduct and political ideology behind the activities of self-defense. It has been counterproductive each time people come from the diaspora and they want to become sponsorer, gather money, send it to forces, and abandon the forces to themselves without any political ideology, without command and control, without instructions on specific issues. It has always led to groups being transformed into cartel, and our people have suffered the effect. But we hope and we encourage the IG of Sisiku to not only take up group as sponsorship to gain sympathetic legitimacy, but to actively put in place mechanism and a structure and personnel to manage this group, to take full responsibility, not just credit, so that together we can all fight against La Republique in a way that will be effective and will accompany our plan for liberation and the takeover plan, and to harmonize activity on the ground. So this is a good and welcome move, and we also welcome it with some caution, given our lessons we have learned in the past, and we hope and we trust that Sisiku will do the right thing and will appoint personnel to take this responsibility. The challenges are enormous, and I want to let our people know that some of the challenges we face on the ground. One of the challenges are coming mainly from the DDR Center of La Republique. It is well funded. It is equipped with a lot of personnel that do propaganda and are engaged with all forces in Ground Zero. They have had people of contact. They have collected numbers of soldiers. We have been fighting them on the ground with our political education, and we need all hands to help in that battle. In many forces that were brought under SACO, I give you the example, the forces that were in COM, for example, you have people that were brought in a county-by-county structure like Kweti Mbeng, Peter Tefo, Ernest Ntenji, who basically have transformed the groups that were under the management of Chris Bongam at that time, who is a wonderful guy and really have a heart who was really qualified and capable of managing forces, and they have transformed those forces into cartel. We have a situation not only in Boyo, but in many other parts where these people have come in Menchum as well, and many areas in Fakou, in Meme, and many areas where Cameroon, these people have allowed the Cameroon government, their DDR center, to get into arrangement with forces where they stay in particular areas. They are not engaging the Cameroon military. They just stay there, set up road control. Cameroon military, they have control like in 100 meters. The Ambazonian restoration forces have control in another meters, and they don't intervene in their activity. They allow them to thrive and live freely in those areas. Some areas we have actually seen Cameroon military withdraw to allow space for these forces that have come into some type of agreement with them. And this is a huge challenge for the defense. We have been working hard to dismantle those arrangements and motivate those forces to understand that the Cameroon military can actually come back and kill them, and they have done so in many cases. So the challenges are enormous, and our people should be aware. So there are roadblocks that have been allowed by the Cameroon military, and there are some Cameroon military posts that have been allowed by some Ambazonian forces. We are working very hard to educate the forces and to fight against these type of things. We also have cases of the CDC plantation. You have PAMO and even water institutions where we have banned exportation of goods. The Cameroon government have successfully already to have some soldiers under their payroll and to have some of their infiltrators and middlemen to be managing forces to make sure that they allow this economic activity that makes it impossible for we to have the international community have the proper incentive to put pressure on Cameroon government. All export of commodity good must be banned. So we have been pushing forces and trying to open new branches of forces within specific strategic areas. Kondo Titi, go down to Indian and many places where we have agents. We are setting up groups for forces to be aware as the Sisikos are coming in, and for them too to be aware, and for the public to be aware. Every force must still try to remain a little bit independent, and when they collaborate, for nobody to go under the command and control structure of another force when you are not familiar with their ideology or you don't know their political agenda. And in cases where people are making arrangement with traders and exporters, please blow alarm. We need more whistleblowers. And we are asking for no soldier to intervene in self-defense activities of another soldier. Every soldier should be allowed to get into any place and carry out action to prevent any other soldier from making arrangement with the Cameroon military and with Cameroon exporters. The challenges are enormous. It is not a child's joke. It's not a child's play. It's not a game of sponsorship where people think they can sit in the diaspora, gather money and send to group, and then come and think that the way to go and negotiate. No. Liberation of a country takes far more than just attacking. It takes strategy. It takes roadmap from moving from one phase to another so that we can liberate our country. But we actually need all hands on deck. We actually need multiple groups. We actually really need that. The responsibility are enormous. We need that not just to make the territory ungovernable. We also need that to be able to protect and mitigate against corruption and the use of bribery by the Cameroon government. So, but our people, I think the public courts is our best mechanism to prevent those things. So we put those information out there as well as part of our mitigation effort. So while our macro plan for the next phase of Ambazonia, the preparation for the takeover will continue to be intensified, and we will continue to seek collaboration so that all forces in Ambazonia, even the IG forces, can participate or facilitate these activities. and our liberation capabilities as we project in carrying out raid and also the use of IED, that these things will multiply and they will continue, so that we can stop Cameroon, we can resist the occupation, and make sure that we can take out all the colonial institutions and structures to continue to govern our territory. We hope, and we hope for only collaboration. That is all we can ask. Self-defense should not just be for legitimacy, but it should actually be for liberation purposes. So that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue to engage villages, and we still have to repeat this because it's an ongoing effort from the education board to ask for villages that doesn't have community school to reach out, so that we can share experience. We can also connect them with our human resources, our pedagogic officers, to help them to set up community school. It is very crucial because we are going to be proactive in terms of implementing the ban of Cameroon government schools. And anybody who is a Cameroon government teacher, do not even travel during this period. Just stay where you are. Don't enter any Cameroon government building during this period, because you will be arrested. For the Catholic Church, who have been indulging themselves with the colonial terrorists, Lele Afrique, we continue to warn them and to let the bishop in Bamenda to know that he has not yet accounted for two soldiers who found themselves desperate in their hospital, in their keeping. They were removed and executed by the Cameroon government. They have not put out any statement till today, and that case has not been closed. We also want them to know that we have taken note of their indulgence with Lele Afrique, and that we need to ask them some questions, so they may need to come to the bush to answer some questions. Our people should know that collaborating with the Cameroon government, associating with the Cameroon government, will be doing so at a risk and at a penalty. We have opened a taxation office in Ground Zero, and we will be releasing some instruction for Ambazonian taxation. Now we have not just the liberation tax system, we also have the survivor tax system, which the president of the governing council have also laid out in his speech. The details of the survivor tax will be made public. Diaspora organizations and people who do import and export from the diaspora will have to take note of this development. Those who travel from the diaspora to organize marriage ceremonies, even in La Republique, should take note of these policies. The details will be made known by the head of our survivor tax department, that is in Ground Zero in the Atlantic State. When the details will be made, it will be made both in hard copy, PDF file, and in audio messages for the understanding of all of our country people them world over. Later today, educational materials for self-defense will be released, and will still call on all Ambazonian youths across our national territory to join self-defense and to contact us in our move for 1,000 new Amba boys. The program is going on successfully. We have already had 4 units that have been born from this program, and we hope to fully attain our capacity of having units across the 13 states from this program that we have launched. Get in touch, enroll, and defend Ambazonia. Capo Daniel, signing off.